you touched upon you
I don't
did
think
a
so.
master in Harvard. How would you what is the big differences between education system in UK versus US? Are there any big ones, or is it if it's a good school university,
Yeah,
you're all set, or
I think I think a really interesting one that I found quite culturally significant was that whereas in the UK, and I think a lot of Europe, our education system is not very interactive. The teacher or the professor is up there on the stage telling us, on their platform, their ivory tower, telling us their wisdom. They're imparting their wisdom, and we sit in the audience and we go, "Gosh, you're wise. I really wish I could be as wise as you." And we write everything down and we think to ourselves, "Yeah, I'm learning a lot." And you ingest it all. And there's a lot to be said for that way of education, because one of the great things about going to university and to school is you are encountering people who know more than you about a certain topic and getting to learn that. Whereas I was quite shocked when I went to the States, because when I was there was an enormous emphasis on class participation. In fact, for some of the courses, in fact, a lot of the courses that you do at Harvard, half of your marks are for your class participation, for the extent to which you're making interventions, the extent to which you're kind of making contribution to the discussion in class. And I found that, I don't know, I kind of some classes I found that really irritating, to be honest with you, because I just wanted to hear more from the professor, because some of these professors at Harvard are genuinely the world leader in a particular thing, and I was like, I, I want to hear what they have to say. Shut up. But in some cases, what it certainly does is it leads to this, for you as a student who is starting to come through this, you feel more of an equal partner. And you're also, I think you learn during those encounters and those sessions about the nature of how to make effective interventions. If you're trying to say something and you want your thoughts to carry the discussion over, you engage with that much more seriously than you do, I think, in the British, European system. And so I think it does breed a slightly different kind of an ethos in students. And I think that's part of the explanation. I think that goes through the American system. I think it's part of the explanation for why Americans are often more confident than their counterparts in over this side of the Atlantic, which is I think no bad thing. And yeah, I was really profoundly struck by that. Like I say, my instinct was always, I guess, because I'd kind of grown up in the British system, my instinct was always, if there was someone there at the front, in front of a blackboard, I would want to just listen to them. But you try and kind of train yourself out of that. And yeah, I think that might just be, everyone's always looking for what are the explanations for why America has this extraordinary productivity and dynamism, which just seems to always be kind of stronger than in most other parts of the world. And there's lots of other explanations you can look at, but like there's energy, there's immigration, there's just the nature of the American state, and the history as well. But I do think that those kinds of things, like subtle educational differences, they might be part of the explanation.